Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Market Pulse. I am Ajit, the founder and mentor at Level Price Action Trading. Let's take a look at what the markets have been doing and are likely to do in the coming week, which is a holiday shortened week, plus we have the expiry one day earlier. And it will also be the end of the month, the quarter. New price action clues will be emerging. So let's take a look at what Nifty has been doing. So nothing has changed. We are going in a little bit deeper into this area. As I mentioned, the next best demand zone still is at this entire area, which is again tested, and it could go deeper if the market weakness continues. But it's been a long streak of selling. There could be one final push, and then we could see an up move coming in the next few weeks. That's what I expect, because markets are pretty overextended now. Taking a look at the weekly chart, those are your best supply zones, which will hold. So far, I mean, it's not very easy for Nifty to give a new high unless and until we come back to good areas of demand zone, which will give it the power to go and break that. These are your weekly demand zones. Now, here we have two levels, so we can just club these two levels together. A lot of chances that Nifty might come here along with all the other indices and create a turning point in this area. Better clues can be available on the smaller time frame. New supply zones on the weekly are also formed at these areas. So many problems for the index to move up. I'm skeptical about the index holding these areas. Maybe we will first come to about 16,006 or 16,005. But if it comes here, we will have a very good reward to risk ratio on the long side, and there can be a sustained period of up move that can happen on the index. Looking at this again on the daily, there is no demand zone. We are still holding those areas of supply around 17,200, which the index is finding difficult to move up. The best area for a long, where we can expect definitely a turning point, is over this at these areas. Those who are in shorts can trail your shorts and continue at least up to, let's say, 16,750 again. That's the area where you can look at booking your shorts if you are short from these areas. And if this is broken, then there is enough room for the index to fall all the way to about 16,200. So a lot of stops would get triggered, and you could see a big fall coming in here. Until then, 16,750 remains the lower end where you can look at getting out of some of your short positions or willing it over to the next CDs in a smaller quantity. That's daily supply zone. Again, this gap will also create a lot of issues. But right now, what we see here is the area around 17,200, which is going to cause Nifty issues to move up. As was discussed in the last time, this is the area from where it started coming down. So as long as this is held, we will make an attempt to make new lows, no demand zone. So once we reach about 800, we could see moving towards that area of 16,750. There could also be a possibility of a decoy where it might just slip all the way to 16,600. That's what you can look for, some confirmation longs. The trend is still intact. Avoid getting into any aggressive longs. New shorts also are a little bit difficult. You can look at it only at about 17,200. And if you're on the long side, short side, swing short side, make sure you keep trailing. And as soon as you get somewhere close to 16,700, look at booking it out and trailing it further. So still the downtrend continues, but remember, we are getting very, very overextended. And below 16,750, there could be a chance of move in the markets. Taking a look at Bank Nifty now. Again, Bank Nifty has also been behaving the same way as expected. 4 months of continuous selling. That's still the main demand zone where you could see markets. If the weakness persists, markets could pull all the way here, and that's where good swing and positional longs can be taken in the banking stocks, good banking stocks. On the monthly, weekly, that's where we have multiple supply zones created on the weekly. That's the first supply zone, which will, of course, resist the price to move up. That's the immediate demand zone, where we expect the bank nifty to probably come here, and from in this area it can turn up. And as if the weakness persists, you can take a look at these two areas of demand, which are just below around 35,600 and 34,000, but it's quite a lot of distance. Again, next month onwards, the results season will begin, and you could see stock specific action coming in. So around 38,500 to 38,000, where we could expect bank nifty to probably stop falling and start consolidating for up move to the next supply zone on the weekly chart. As we are coming down, there are new supply zones that are getting formed on the weekly chart. So you will see that about 40,000, 41,700 would be the upper end. And if we come lower here, based on the daily chart, let's say about 38,300 to 37,800. If we start moving up from there, there'll be pretty good reward to risk ratio on the long side. Right now, the trend on the daily and the weekly is also weak and to the downside. No clear demand zone on site, so avoid taking longs till we hit about 38,300 and shorts only once we reach about 40,200. If you take a look at bank nifty on the daily chart, there is no clear demand zone where you can pinpoint that this is going to be the turning point. So that's the reason longs have to be extremely cautious and confirmation based. So you can take smaller position only. Now that's the other demand zone which I expect the markets to come to between 38,300 to 37,800 and turn up. There'll be pretty good reward to risk ratio at least up to this gap point from this area. So fight continues, consolidation. Now one of the two parties will lose, and you'll see a bigger move. If the buyers get exhausted, you will see prices dropping down pretty hard, and your immediate target for any shorts that you have could be 38,400. Remember, we are very close to expiry as well, so trade with caution and don't be extra flamboyant with your shorts which are low on the curve. So if you want to get into any shorts on bank nifty, these are the only ones. That's the area about 40,300. Of course, you can do some intraday trading between these areas, and bank nifty is probably holding around this area. Once we have a breach of these area, we could see it accelerating towards our final targets of 38,300 to 38,000 on bank nifty. So cautious trade. We are low on the curve, but the trend is still down, and we could see one more last leg of fall coming in. A quick look at India VIX as expected. India VIX is rising, and if we see India VIX moving towards 18 to 20 areas, which is moving up from a demand zone, then both the indices could move down and give us our targets. So watch out for the VIX. Once we go somewhere close to 18, 19, you could see the indices in the demand zone, and that is a time when you have to be cautious about shorting, book your shorts, and try to wait for confirmation longs on the both the indices and the important stocks in the index. All right. So cautious approach towards the market. Still, the shorts will continue. Don't be in a hurry to get into long positions and keep trailing your short positions.